Good morning. This is Fred Mitchell, Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Minister for the Public Service and Foreign Affairs. Today is Friday, the 4th of November, 2022. Tomorrow is Guy Fawkes Day. Remember the 5th of November. Daylight saving time and Sunday morning. Thank the Lord. I extend condolences on behalf of the Progressive Liberal Party on the passing of Rob McKinney, our stalwart councillor from Sandy Point, Abaco, and on the passing of former MP David Knowles. May they rest in peace. So the Pharmaceutical Association was getting hard, standing up to the government and, more importantly, putting the lives of Bahamian people at risk in a commercial dispute with the government earlier this week. And the question one immediately asks is, how did it get to this? Fair question, don't you think? There's a huge price inflation in the country, and the government must act to calm it. Indeed, the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, was shouting off the rafters that we had to do something about prices. And now that we are doing something about prices, he's on the other side of the argument, saying that we did not consult, which of course is not true. You don't like the decision, but the PLP doesn't operate that way. Even after the decision was announced, I, amongst others, got feedback which went back to the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. We were really concerned about small grocers and the mom-and-pop pharmacies. And even as the legal deadline approached, the business community was advised that there would be no hard enforcement at the first instance to give everyone a chance to have a meeting of the minds. Now you have this extraordinary situation earlier this week where pharmacies with a public license and an obligation to sell critical medicines to the public were refusing to do so and engaging in what some have called commercial blackmail. Also unnecessary. Talking is better than fighting. As for Mr. Pintard, he ought to be careful how this comes off. The PLP is aware that huge sums of cash passed hands during two previous campaigns from one of the more well-known pharmaceutical principals to ensure the victory of the F&M and the defeat of the PLP. So Mr. Pintard has to be careful in this matter that he's not seen to be singing for his supper. And of course, the only ones who suffer in this are the Bahamian public. Let's just take one medication, high blood pressure meds, for example, which if you miss one day, you could get a stroke. Is this something that the pharmacies engaged in the strike countenanced when they thought of this, that there could possibly be the deaths or injury of thousands of Bahamians because they're fighting with the government over a few percentage points in profit? Did they think about that? Anyway, my colleagues have indicated that there has now been a meeting of the minds on the issue. The stores are open again. Let's pledge, therefore, to let this never happen again. I say again, talking is better than fighting. But I also say that at the end of the day, the government must do what it has to do to protect the public interest. That is our job, protecting the public interest. So, as they say, the minority may have its say, but the government has to have its way. God bless you. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And as we pray for the repose of the souls of Rob McKinney of Sandy Point, and the late David Knowles, the former MP. It's still, on this day, PLP all the way.
I make it so good, baby. I make it so good to you. Not like the first time, not like the first time, not like the first time. Talking about the second time, not like the first time, not like the first time, not like the first time. Talking about the second time.
Oh yeah. Larry and Gabriel, live and direct.